The professionalism shines. I'll say good evening and happy new year for the second time now that I've unmuted my microphone. I try to be professional, I assure you. Also, I'm just going to say sorry in advance if you can hear a very hungry dog going at his food. And that's just Krug. Background. As promised, we have mining. We have tea. And yeah, I am open to chat any and all things Star Citizen. Doesn't have to just be purely mining related. I just thought I'd pick an activity which I can hopefully remember to do pretty simply. Exactly, Rador. Where is the fun in being professional? I feel it's not really what people come to one of my streams for, to be honest. Professionalism. I'm not sure what you do come for. Also just remembered with desktop audio that I should probably exit League of Legends as well. How do you get a Frontier Consolidated mug on the Frontier Consolidated shop? Which, if you're in our Discord, is in the Support the Community channel. Here you go, I am less than 5 minutes in and you got me plug-in merchandise there, Rocky. Right. But yeah, I haven't done too much mining recently, so I thought I'll get back into it, because I'm thinking at some point I'm probably going to remake my mining guide. And I thought that meant that I should probably dust off my chops and do as much mining as I can. But yeah, I need to remember how this all works. I guess probably getting a bit closer to the ground to start with is probably a good idea, and also zooming away from HDMS Han. And then hopefully not embarrassing myself by blowing the first thing I find up in my face. That would definitely be off to a good start. Also figure I'm going to go take a bit of time to get out and about and see some of the different moons, so I'll be rotating around a little bit, starting here on Magda in the Hurston system. Which currently is appearing very barren, unless I've completely missed something. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, it was implied, Silas. To be fair, I mean, if I could just limit it to just blowing up the rocks, that would probably be me doing my job. I guess this is going to be gems though, since nothing's popped up this close. I should probably refresh myself on my RS signatures as well. Okay. 10,800. That sounds a lot more. There we go. There are some rocks right there. Yeah, to be fair, mountains. Mountains were my enemy. They were my enemy during Daedalus. So yeah, hopefully they won't be my my enemy tonight. So yeah, apparently we've got, with the new mining changes, we should be seeing a lot more prospector-sized rocks down here on the surface. These are looking pretty small. Obviously not going to settle for a mix of iron ore and bexolite. Also might pop my VTOL down. I mean, these are very small. We need something a little bit bigger than a pebble. Doesn't feel right going for the straight to extracts. This looks slightly more sizable. I quite like this as a change though. Make it so that the prospectors have a decided sort of locations that they can go to. Not going to stop for pure iron though. Evening Synthetic, how you doing? We'll take Beryl. Not going to be too fussy. That's my that was my approach last time. It served me well, not being particularly fussy. Just gotta remember to that when I look at this screen, which I look at for the chat, that it's always gonna be that bit behind. Probably shouldn't get into the habit of mining off it. There we go. Only a little bit of red in the first go. Didn't cost me my module. Yeah, I am flying M&K at them. I hate to admit it, but basically, with all the stuff for streaming, I lack sufficient USB ports to stream and fly sticks. So, at some point, I will get some form of USB hub, and then we'll be able to go for the full sticks experience while streaming. But yeah, because there are some other things which need plugging in. Yeah, it seems to be the dual streaming seems to be working okay. Ah, there we go. That's what I need to do. I've just been like not doing something, and then I realised it was because I hadn't clicked. I don't know. It's just not working. So yeah, there should be. So I'm currently on the easy to read feed, only getting the Twitch chat, but I can read Twitch and YouTube chat if I just look at the bit which pops up. So that's okay. We'll work it out. A lot of this is just learning the tricks of the trade, so to speak. Right, 82%. That seems good enough. I not sure I'm going to fill my saddlebags with sort of 60% barrel. That seems a bit low. Got to leave room for those tier 1 mats that I'm hoping to find. Let's see. Like this, Pixelite. See, is that going to be enough power to keep it going? You have to say it's this is already quite refreshing, seeing the changes that they've made. The only downside though is I do really like planetary mining in the mole. I'm generally more of a fan of planet mining than I am of space mining, but kind of remains to be seen a little bit how these changes are going to go. Although it does maybe create the Prospector a little bit of a niche, which it potentially needs. Yeah, I would say there's always going to be a certain game loop, maybe one, maybe two, which are like the king of cash, if you like. So like right now it's bounties and cargo. You know, if you're in it for the money, then yeah, you'll go and do bounties and do cargo off them, and do the salvaging with the construction materials, because it's not particularly well balanced, right? So, but then what do you do when you've got, like, what's my balance currently standing at? 48 million credits. And I've bought most of the ships in game, all the ships I care about, really. So then I don't necessarily just need to do stuff for the money. I want to do stuff which I actually enjoy as a game loop. So yeah, for me that's mining at the moment. Well, amongst other things, it's, you know, I think variety is the spice of life. It's but yeah, and it will come back at some point, I'm pretty sure. And at some point in the very, very future, very far future, there will be a huge balance pass, and all of the various game loops will get some decided rebalancing in terms of the money. I think all of the changes post the Quantanium nerf, shall we call it, I think they all start to make a lot more sense when you start considering ship refining in the mix as well. Arethusa, okay, that is a pretty good idea. An FRCN miner's hat with a fake lamp printed on the front. I could go for that. To be fair, I'd settle for an orange baseball cap. Just sometimes find it difficult to find a baseball cap that suits me, that fits me. Okay, Krug's come to visit. He might be around my feet. Oh, he's probably doing his little whine. Because unfortunately his mum has gone out, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't care when I go. I just, you know, provide food and financing. But when my wife leaves the house, he can sometimes get a little bit upset. So I apologize if you hear him whining in the background at any point. Yeah, it seems like unscannable rocks are once again a thing. Oh, there we go. Just need it. Yeah, that is a good point, Rocky. With yeah, that's too real, Silas. It's too real. And the purveyor of the bad nighttime walk as well. But yeah, I think Rocky's right as well. I think sort of base building will be a... oh wait a minute, I've just seen that this is an impossible rock. Well, let's see if it's really impossible. Let's go and slap a gadget on it. Yeah, I think Rocky's right. I think there's a whole element of like the mining as a technical game loop is quite well developed. Like, you know, yeah, there are bugs. I mean, it's Star Citizen, but as an overall sort of, you know, the design of the mini game, if you compare it to something like structural salvage, where they're very clearly, you know, placeholdering, and they need to develop an actual game loop for it. Whereas mining has it, you know, it's got the There we go. Let's try that again. So yeah, mining's got the game loop down, but what it needs really now is like more economy around it, right? Almost needs like the rest of the game to catch up for it to make sense. So yeah, things like base building will be absolutely huge for mining, because right now, you know, we've got a fairly short list of what, like, 4 materials that we really want. Maybe another 5. I think it's 5 off the top of my head. That sort of that also are kind of worth putting in your saddlebags. But when you go into the realm of base building as well, then all of a sudden that's where it becomes like, okay, we need a few 100,000 SCU of iron and copper. And then that changes the game entirely. The mining game, that is, specifically. I feel I'm being a little bit cheated here. Able to get this gadget to 89%. God, there must be a little squeeze of that extra 1%. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to move. Yeah, that's exactly it, Farmer. It's like, you know, all these base commodities, and particularly like when you get something like the Orion, you know, yeah, maybe with an Orion, like, you could mine enough iron for it to be economically sensible to mine iron. I think what you really need is the loops to develop. And also, you know, that could also have a place in terms of, like, they've got plans for, well, a lot of big plans by the looks of it, for crafting. So, you know, you can see sort of some of the crafting recipes if you look at like survival games, which have a finer grip on the whole crafting stuff. Yeah, you know, you might need like small amounts of like Exolite or Taranite, but then large bulky amounts of iron and copper and tungsten. So particularly if those commodities are, like they talked about when they did the mining updates, you know, more localized, and when there are sort of more systems to play with and stuff, then, you know, it might become a case of like you need to trade around between different groups to get the necessary ingredients for a certain crafting recipe. Let's crank up the power and see if we can get this to budge at all. Afraid to say I'm decidedly out of practice in the mining game though. I know I am ridiculously close to this rock. If I manage to get anything budging in it, then I will of course move myself further back. I'm afraid to say this might be one that it said impossible and I didn't listen. But is in fact impossible. Still, unfortunately, I realised that despite the fact that I bought loads of gadgets, I managed to then forget to move them into the ship before I took off, so that gadget's precious, so I'm going to go back and get it. Yeah, Joseph, it did seem a little bit inconsistent. I'll be honest, it's my first time mining in this patch. So I wasn't quite sure whether I was just being a noob, or whether it was being a bit buggy. It's always part of Star Citizen. You have to discover the new bugs. Yeah, I've got a few different lasers to try, Andrew. I started out with my trusty Hofstede, but I think you're right. I think the Prospector is probably gonna have to be Helix. One of the things I do really like about the changes that they made a couple of patches ago is the fact that, like, there's no... Well, at least it doesn't feel to me like there is a right build as such. It's just sort of, you know, pick your level, if that makes sense. So, like, not everybody is going to be capable of going straight in with a Helix, if you know what I mean. I felt a little bit like it would be biting off a bit more than I could chew. My first mining run. I'll get my eye back in, pretty sure. Let's see though. It's interesting. So that was a rock that was too big for my lone little Prospector to manage. Oh, and that is certainly too big for me. 41,608 mass. So the big rocks are still very much present. Just maybe a little bit less so than before. Yeah, so like here, I'm noticing like I'm getting the bubble. I'm not getting necessarily the distance pop up on all of my ping returns. I might want to pop the Discord link into the chat. You can work out how to do it. Let me just bring my ship to a stop and then I will do just that, because yeah, please feel free, everybody is welcome to hop in to our Discord. So I will just, if I can spell FRCN correctly. Yeah, that link will get you into our Discord, and yeah, please do feel free to come and say hi. We've got regular mining ops and stuff on the go, so particularly thanks to people like Silas, who run a lot of those. All right, gold. This is tasty. Okay. I'll put my gadget on it. I'll just try the lazy way first. Nah, not gonna need one. Unfortunately, got a bit of a storm picking up though, so. And this is where the Prospector really does shine. I think we were spoilt for quite a while with mole mining. And at some point they are going to give us weather on every single moon, so being a soloist isn't going to really be possible. There we go. Yeah, so we did start out as a pretty purist mining ore. Well, it was just what myself and Parzival, who was the guys I was first playing with, one of the co-founders. That was what we did, a lot of rock mining and then prospectors, and we sort of worked out the Quantanium meta and build our boots, so to speak. I think originally it was called the Frontier Miners Guild, was the original org name. But then we just realised, you know, there was no point having people would pop in and be into doing other stuff. It's kind of back to what I was saying earlier about like there will always be, particularly during like this phase of the game, there will always be like the loop that earns you a lot of money. But then after you've earned a lot of money, then if you carry on playing past that point, then you're playing for fun. So at that point, bounty hunting paid out really badly compared to Quantanium mining. Just go and check out this other rock before I scoop up that gold. So yeah, but back at that point, mining was just king. It paid out way more than anything else. But then, people had made a lot of money mining, and then were like, well, I'm going to use my mining money to buy a combat ship, and I'm going to go pew pew. Oh, right, sorry, woodling, yeah. Sorry, the multi-chat interface from my side isn't working. And when I say it's not working, I mean that I'm failing to work it. I'm getting blown up mining Quantanium still is a rite of passage, Rocky. It's, at some point we're going to get Master Ben even into a mining ship and get him to blow himself up mining Quantanium. I can't remember who exactly it was. Or maybe I'm just not going to shame them on the stream. But one of our senior officers, when they came for their first event and we went mole mining, caused me to do massive amounts of somersaults in my mole after blowing up a quant rock in my face. And so many of our thrusters got blown off that it was just one of those sort of perpetual spinny loops. And there was no way to escape it. So yeah, it happens to everyone. Relatively nice Festonite rock. Probably fill the last few SU up. Yeah, let's just crack that one. Mostly here, I'm not worrying too much about how much money I'm making. I'm just cracking rocks for fun. The more I get to blow up, the better. And I'm just getting my eye in again, to be honest. Rug's making a weird sound down at my feet, and I'm just resisting the urge to look at him while I attempt not to blow this up in my face. There we go, now I can check him. He'll get over it, I'm pretty sure. I say he'll get over it. What will happen is Ali will come back home at about 8:30, and then he'll be fine. And my feelings will be just a little bit hurt. So, just to be clear, it's not that my dog doesn't like me. It's just that he prefers my wife. So, which I'll be honest, just a little bit hurtful. Just can't help but notice it. See, did any of this actually split particularly nicely? But all the iron seemed to go into one place. I guess that's 72% Hephaestonite, 77% Hephaestonite rock. Seems like our best so far, unless we got very lucky with this one on the edge. We did not. It's like 77. 77 is not too bad. 12.67 iron, so Only 20 SCU of really good stuff. But it's a start. I mean, one of the things I should have probably done is should have probably stuck me mole bags onto my Prospector. One thing time to do before I started streaming. Don't go worry too much about the old refinery yields, because I want to get back to her L2 so that I can get all of the so I can pick up my other mining gadgets. So one of the things I want to just experiment a little bit with is the cluster modifier. So, thing. It's a shame I can't move this camera because he's currently laid down at my feet, but just occasionally making a little bit of a whine. It's okay. Let's get him a little treat. There we go. Occasional drip feeding of duck snacks might help me. I'm still a bit superstitious, so let's as always add a little bit of a dog leg. Should have probably done a bit more of a dog leg there. I think I cut that one a bit short. Got a dog cam? Can probably sort out a dog cam. That would require him to... It would probably have to be on a tripod though, because he's got about like 6 sleeping spots around the flat. So yeah, we'd have to think about that. It would have to be a mobile dog cam. And as you've seen tonight, my technical skills are limited. I can have a think. What you gotta do is just bribe him with a lot of treats to sit in a certain spot. But yeah, this is my plan though. I'm planning to try and do this every Tuesday night. And while it will be entitled a mining stream and I will be doing mining, like I say, we can chat any and all things Star Citizen. Or dogs, you know. I'm fine for whatever. Yeah. I've got a second webcam. It's just getting him to sit in a certain space. This dog has too many beds. Problem. My only worry about a treat for Krug Button is that Krug would get fat. Might have to get some celery sticks or something on the go. We're gonna go down that route. I also have to get myself a Frontier teapot. This tea is good, but it's going down far too quickly. I think this is one of the things I find funniest about Star Citizen. Once you've played it for a while, you're just like, I swear it's getting less buggy. But actually, you just know the workarounds for the bugs. So I didn't even really stop to think about the fact that my quantum drive just decided to not go there. It's just like, look away, look back again. It's just, you know, part of it. But actually, the game's just as buggy. It's just that you know how to get around those bugs. which is a bit of a pain for people who are absolutely new. I mean, I was about to say absolutely not. Silas, like a chocolate teapot is merely a joke, but now I'm imagining a teapot made of chocolate, and it sounds pretty delicious. Not gonna lie. All I've got is a couple of Milky Ways. As you can tell, it's post-Christmas and New Year, and we are down to the more unwanted of the celebrations tin.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
So yeah, down to the Milky Ways. Yeah, I mean that's it, right? I found it in other games. There are other games where I will accept bugs. You know, it's just part of playing like early access titles at the end of the day. And it's just like, is the rest of the game good and enjoyable enough that you're willing to stick around long enough to find out the workarounds to the bugs? And for me on Star Citizen, that is the case. Just concentrate and not do a classic loud guns landing. Very, very happy, by the way, with the Prospector paints from the Luminalia. If you haven't already, you have until, I believe, the 8th of January to claim all your gifts. And there are a few nice paints in there, particularly for industrial players. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Prospector got to the Freelancers, got a pair as well. And I think even the Vulture did, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not particularly a fan of the deck the hulls ones, but I really like the ice breaks. So I thought this year's advent calendar was really good. Myth, yeah, I like that idea. An FRCN port decanter. Like I say, there is a channel though in where is it? It's in the org forum, so it's for members of the org, and I think it's called Org Assets, if I remember rightly. It includes all of the like high quality PNGs and stuff of the logos, and like I've said before, you know, if you just making it for yourselves, just for fun, then you are absolutely welcome to use those to make any cool stuff that you wish. My only ask is that you share some pictures and designs if you've got them to inspire others. That's all. So yeah, if you wanna get a port decanter made and you want to send me the send me the people who made it for you, so I can order one as well, then be my guest. Well, let's see. I'm in no rush, so let's go Dinix. Too bad. Just under 5k refining costs. I could probably plug that in and work out how much I've made there, but okay, what should we say? 4 or 6? 6 SCU of alright stuff, and call it 9 SCU. So, you know, I was probably, what, an 80,000, 90,000 run? So yeah, you know, mining is without a doubt. Gone are the days of 250k every time in the Prospector. But I like it more, I'm not gonna lie, even though it is lower paying. You know, definitely the payouts need to be balanced and stuff, but I'll be honest, I I don't miss the quant and only quant meta. Yes, it was profit, but it was getting a little bit boring, and you were spending more of your time searching for rocks than breaking them. So I think it's pretty cool that it's the other way around now. You seem to spend a lot more of your time mining. Yeah, okay, in 40 minutes. Which, you know, again, I feel like I could probably have been a lot quicker, but I was I'm just getting used to chatting shit while I do this. That's the technical term for it, right? That rock where I was watching the slightly delayed right hand screen as well, that didn't help. And a big part of being fast as well is knowing what you can and can't go for. And I feel you've got to sort of build up that experience a little bit. Sort of know what to waste the time on, because I wasted a bit of time there jumping out of the ship to plant that gadget onto the laranite rock, which I then couldn't budge. So yeah, you just got to know a bit of this stuff beforehand going in. Gonna take one of the Optimaxes, and we're gonna take a wave shift as well. Particularly interested if we get a good rock to check out that Optimax. So we'll see if that plus 60% cluster modifier. And Noise has absolutely hit the nail on the head as well. Walk sweet to the rocks for better yield. Why didn't I think of that? Hey Chippy, Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Hope everyone had a good one. I got to experience my first Ukrainian New Year's party, and it was really good, really good. As a British person, all the other British people will probably back me up on this. Mostly New Year is about drinking. Yeah, Christmas is the one you spend with your family, and New Year is the one where you go out with your mates and you just get trolleyed. But the sort of Ukrainian one, so for them, for the people I was celebrating with, sort of New Year is effectively like Christmas is to us in sort of the UK and the States. So it's the one you spend with your family, and it's, you know, cook a lot of food, have a big dinner. Yeah, it was awesome because there was still quite a lot of drinking, but it was accompanied by large amounts of caviar, which was absolutely delicious. But with a sort of doubled up family, half of which is British and half of which is Ukrainian, it does mean that my whole Christmas celebrations run a lot longer now. So previously it was, you know, 25th of December and then you're pretty much done. Now it is now it's a lot more. It's basically a full week, so not complaining, but you know, I do really need to go to the gym now. I've got no excuse. So yeah, I think based on the economy stuff that I've read and watched, there definitely seems to be an element of not wanting it to be 100% Eve. Eve Online is like a 100% player-driven economy, right? So players have like absolute control over everything. Whereas with Star Citizen, CIG seem to have learnt from that and the risks it poses, because that's what leads to any sort of giant player alliances really hardcore controlling space and pushing to the extent of pushing other people out of gameplay. Whereas the whole sort of Quanta stuff with which Tony Z did a really long but really interesting talk about. Their sort of like simulation is more. Let's go to a different moon. Let's go to Eta maybe. Mix it up. Get a bit of different scenery. So their economy is more relying on a sort of rough ratio of 9 NPCs to every player. And not that those NPCs would be rendered, but that their economic activity is going on in the background. So like simulated economic activity. And that just means there'll still be like shortages of certain things. Because the activities of the simulated Quanta NPCs will reflect like this area of space has become like semi-abandoned and derelict. Yeah, picked the wrong route, it would appear. Okay, got pulled out of Quantum, but none of the bad guys have showed up yet. Oh fuck. Well, I don't know how that didn't end in disaster. And I apologise for my sweary words. So yeah, there should be should be a level of, so if an area of space becomes less traversed, becomes more dangerous, has more pirates, then obviously the Quanta NPCs would reflect that. Like more of them would be getting pirated. But yeah, it was it should provide, so like still certain amounts of goods will get through a blockade. So there's a bit of a checks and balances on player action. Yeah, I think there is maybe that sort of element with Eve. There was too much like real money crossover. I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. I hope that, in a way, I kind of hope like RMT and stuff stays out of Star Citizen, but at the same time, there's just no way. There's just no way to avoid it getting into a game. I mean, just this is not me promoting it whatsoever, because I think buying a UEC is I won't often question people's financial decisions, but I do think buying a UEC is pretty dumb. But go on eBay and type in AUEC and you will find that there's already RMT in Star Citizen. So I just don't think in a world of digital transactions that it's realistic that it will be kept out of the game. Alright, Pilot, how you doing, mate? And yes, I am rocking a Prospector. Not rocking a Prospector. I'm in a Prospector. Well, I get the feeling that because this is going to be gems, maybe I should have been in a rock. I'm gonna mix it up with this stream. It's gonna be every Tuesday night. Gonna be doing mining of some variety, but yeah, we'll definitely be looking to mix it up. Do a bit of rock mining maybe next week. But then at other points also we'll bring some other people on. We'll do some more mining. We might do some sort of mini ops, that sort of stuff. Nothing too complicated, because I will keep the focus on having a chat as opposed to running an op, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll keep it varied. And I think it might be interesting as well to bring in, like, for example, recently Wormskull wrote a really interesting, yeah, that is a good idea, Noise, some prison mining. Can we make more money selling merits than selling Quantanium? That is a good chance. Impossible Bex Light Rock. But yeah, just in case you haven't seen it, Wormskull wrote a really interesting Spectrum post on mining balance, and yeah, he put a lot of work into it. And it's a really good read if you get a chance. So yeah, I think it would be interesting if maybe at some point we took some experienced miners out in a mole maybe, and simultaneously had a chat about mining overall. A very nice gold rock, but unfortunately well out of my range for this evening. So we can take this little Agresian one. What I am going to try though, I'm going to try that Optimax gadget. Leave my Prospector pointing right at the one I want to slap it on though. It's possible to get a little bit disoriented when you step out of your ship. Rug's having a good howl. Clearly he thinks I should stick with my Sabir. But no, mate, I think Optimax is the way to go. Right, accidentally opening the door to the loo as opposed to onto the ship. Yeah, Noise, I really like the I really like falling down as I try to open the door. I really like these icebreaker paints. And to be fair, having like collected the Luminalia ones over a number of years now, yeah, it is pretty cool how you build up a decent collection. Right. Is it going to play ball in the first place I stick it? Upside down. I've not seen that bug before. Let's see if we can still operate this. A3. Or I'm going to tilt my head to make this make some sense. No, we can't get it to go. It'd be great if it worked like that, though. Stick it on upside down, and then all of a sudden 66 becomes 89. Becomes 99, even. Don't get play ball in the first spot. Happens in space all the time. At least in space, you can just, you know, hold Q or E. I swear, Krug right now just wants to get on the stream. Tell you what, buddy, if I can... Might have to just go and get him some extra snacks in a little bit. Everything's better once you got a nice snack, right? Oh, it's looking promising. Right. Do the slow walk back to the ship. And then... Right, just have to just quickly get Krug some treats, because he's having a bit of a moment. Can't blame him. Right back. There we go. Everything's a little better with some of these treats.
automated style where it's pretty much hands-free for the outlaws. Crazy how advanced these things are getting. We'd like you to go there and secure as many of the crates of contraband as you can and bring them to us for processing and disposal. And of course, if there are any hostile forces present, you're expected to deal
Yeah, Croak was very definitely singing the song of his people. The hungry bulldogs. Just to be clear, I do feed him. He, it is sad to admit, eats better than I do, I think. Well, some nights he eats better than I do. Most nights. Got a bit spicy on that one. Wait for that there. Right. I've been thinking about, I was having a bit of a chat with my brother over Christmas because he's sort of very into, like, we recently built a CNC machine and very into 3D printing, like I know a lot of the guys over on Discord are. I'd really like to build myself some mining control button boxes. I think that'd be really cool. I really like sort of the controls on my sticks, but I don't have them plugged in right now. And but yeah, I think just a small box with like a potentiometer, so you got that dial, maybe some flick switches for your consumables would be really awesome. Right, so that was with the Optimax, which is the cluster modifier 60%. See, the problem with like testing any of this stuff is like you would need 2 identical rocks. It doesn't currently feel like it's worked particularly well, or like one sort of 60-ish% piece. Like, they all seem to cluster around 30%. Which is, not ideal. Yeah, I think even I should be able to, okay.
There. Crusader Security Officer Van Zandt calling you about the contract work. I just wanted to make sure everything was clear. You're going to be headed to an automated production facility and grabbing all the contraband that comes off the line. Once you have it secured, you're to bring it to the appointed locations.
Toggle switches might be a problem.
Not sure exactly
I suppose because you need more like one-touch ones, though, right? As opposed to ones which were like on-off. My technical language around this is going to be decidedly limited. Yeah, exactly. I know a while ago I was talking to Blunder about this because he did some really extensive testing around cluster factor, and his feeling was that some of the base metals like the iron already actually, if you look at the data in the game files, have a very high cluster factor. And so then by increasing the cluster factor of the other stuff, you actually decrease the cluster factor of the base materials. Meaning you actually get more spread. Right, but that was 2 okay pieces of agresium, I suppose. So this is the advantage of being a rich hobby miner, though. I know my gadget's down there somewhere, but it's nice and warm in my ship. I'll leave it. Really, though, you should pick up your gadgets. But yeah, like with Iron and Silas, yeah. So the danger there is that you'd actually get better clustering of the high value materials by not doing anything at all. At which point you're better off just using like a Sabir or a wave shift, or with the rocks that you don't need a gadget to crack. Just save the time, don't get out your ship. I just want to test something actually while I'm here. I just want to see if it's possible these days to crack one of these. Wind up all the way out. Alright, it's Dolvine. That looks like a no. Set it all the way down to minimum power. As he is being it straight to the red. We'll try it on some Hadnite if we come across that. Might have to do it. Might have to think of a specific build that would be best for that sort of thing. Man, minus 11. I find Scottish weather too cold, and it's like 3 degrees here. 2 degrees maybe. Cold enough for me. Too cold. I would be happy with 16 odd degrees all year round. Yeah, Noise, there used to be, back in the golden days of the Lancet laser, this is. You used to be able to do a thing, I think I made a video on it at the time, called rock spectoring, which didn't get many views because I put a really abstract title on it, like rock spectoring. But you used to be able to use a Lancet laser to break them if you sort of feathered on the gems. And Prospector could break them way quicker than the rock could. So then you were able to sort of do a combo where you broke all the gems with the Prospector, and then you scooped them up with the rock, which was pretty good, pretty profitable. Nice day out on Ether. This is one of the things I love about the mining changes as well. Sort of the tacit encouragement to get out to more places than Lyria. Yeah, Rav, it was the infamous video that you were removed from. You want to tell people why you were removed from the video though, Ravnak? Was it because you blew up half of my MSR? I think it was. I managed to get a couple of shots usable out of that particular take, but I then had to re-record it with a random person from Global Chat. I was just like, I just need to get some footage, I'll let you keep all the money. Oh yeah. That famously self-destructing MSR. be fair, the rock you were in was absolutely fine. So. Does seem to let a couple of these rocks catch up. I even forgot that happened though, Rev. I must have just blanked that bit from my memory. Clearly such a successful day. Maybe let's go look at some of these other rocks in the cluster. Hey, Blue Rage. Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Gotta say, getting back to doing a bit of streaming was a lot easier than getting back to doing a bit of work this morning. What do we reckon? 9% resistance. Is this going to be possible if I slap like a beer on it? What do we reckon? Reckon it's worth jumping out and trying to slap a gadget on that? Let's have another look at. Let's have a look at some of the other rocks in the cluster before I worry about it. Oh, that's even less doable. Oh. Nice rock, though. Just wait, when we do the mole mining, there's going to be nothing like that. It'll go exist. And 10k. Resistance is a lot higher here, though. So we've got a fourth rock I haven't scanned yet. Yeah, golden quant. Delicious, delicious quantanium. Right. Fancy, since that's 99% resistance, I think that's worth a go. Just forget when I got my landing gear down and when. Borace is also pretty valuable, so it's the one which just doesn't quite make it into the tier 1 rocks. I have to say that's one change I would make if I were CIG. Currently you've got that like quite a big split in terms of the is it worth mining. So you've got like the sort of tier 2 stops at Borace, right? And Borace is about 4.5k for SCU. And then you've got quite a big jump to the tier 1 mats like the Bexlites and the Terranites at 7.5k. And oh, help if I brought a gadget, wouldn't it? And yeah, I just feel like it would make more sense if there were more things which were like 5,000, 6,000, so there was a bit more stepped progress. Alright, we'll give one of this. Spear or a wave shift. Probably a spear. Just get as little resistance as we can. No, I think you're right, Rocky. I've always been of the opinion that there are weak spots. Other people have told me there is no such thing, but I mean, I've definitely seen the same sort of thing you have, like. Oh, the upside down gadgets are still a thing, though. Very good starting point. Two. See, we got to try a different spot, I think. .61 seems to be the best place we can get to. I need to remember, you know, there's that command to flip screens upside down that you usually just do to mess with your co-workers. Might have to start actually using that if this bug is going to persist. Spot's looking more promising. That 76 was our top hit there. Okay, that's again. Let's see. Where haven't I tried? Side, I guess. Rug's having another little howl. He's suggesting that I need to not only pray to the mining gods, but also, you know, give him. I want my gadgets to behave themselves. .66. Feeling better. Got it up to 87 there. There we go. See, treat for Krug, working gadget. Clearly, this is the secret. Here's my co-pilot, so you know you gotta keep your co-pilot happy. I'm just conflicted on whether I want them to put pets into the game, because on the one hand, I would really like, you know, to have a virtual representation of Krug on board. On the other hand, I worry it would make crashing my ship be like a terrible, terrible experience. Right, let's have a search around. I should really have switched over to that helix, shouldn't I? Remind me to do that before the next run. Because, yeah, I fear this is... There's no life whatsoever in this rock, I'm afraid. Just getting really close and see if we can eke out any power. It's not playing ball, is it? Yeah, exactly, noise. Pirates taking my pet hostage. I mean, I'd just be like, 30 million. Here you go. Give me Krug back. Oh, you want that every week? Sounds perfectly reasonable. Just leave my Krug alone. But yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for us to have dogs in game. It would make me weak. I reckon I can make an AI that translates what Krug says. I think you're wildly overestimating my programming skills. You think I could make that AI? However, I'm pretty sure I can translate what Krug says. He is basically demanding, simultaneously, food and his mum. That's it. These are the things in life that he cares about. And, like, me, if I'm not back by the time he wants to go to bed. There's some gold. But it's in one of the straight to scoopable rocks, so we're not going to bother with that. Let's bring that laser power down. Up. A flock of storm wolves. I like that idea. That's it. Maybe we do need pets, but they just need to be, like, less recognizably Earth pets. 65%. I'll only take really good bits of this Vestonite, because I still haven't scanned those other rocks, and I should have probably done that before I bothered breaking any. Yeah, Surge and Stampede are definitely. To be fair, this is one of the reasons I do love the Mole George, but even when solo, because you can just rock out with like three different builds. Although something I should definitely try a bit more of is actually sort of carrying more of the gadgets with me and then just switching them over on the fly. It's one of the downsides to the Hofstede size 1, though. It's the fact that you've only got that one module slot is a bit lame. Oh, noise. As much fun as it would be to watch pirates get eaten by a giant spider, it would still be a giant spider. And that might be a reason for me to uninstall the game. Like that might be my line. Like I would really like to play Skyrim VR. But that means giant VR spiders. No. No, I'm not sure I could deal with that. A 100% piece, we'll take that for sure. Look, I'm okay with spiders as long as they stay out of my direct line of sight. That's the rules. I don't have to see them. Then that's fine. They're cuddly. Okay. I'll take your word for it, Tatsu. Take your word for it. No, I blame my mother. It's a personal #1 fear. So. %100% bit. And this is why, if you see like a Vestonite like this, just crack every rock and then just take your pick. Hephaestonite is also just by far and away the easiest of the tier 2 materials. I think there might be grounds for like a Hephaestonite only mining strat. It's like scan around until you find large amounts of Hephaestonite, just go back with 100% every time. You'd probably be incredibly quick. Do like 2 runs for every run somebody focusing like gold or something does. 94%, we'll take that at the end if we don't get filled up with 100% bits. 90%, similarly good. I'm liking the little 100% inert materials troll it does sometimes, but that does seem to be genuinely 100% inert materials. Spiders under the floorboards, where you have to get to the valve for the gardening hose. All I can say is that getting the gardening hose out would not have been my job in my house. Is there any sneaky little bits hiding? I haven't scanned that bit. Yeah, 98%. Start there. Yeah, an impact laser on a Riga C with a Riga C3 and Surgeon Stampede. Not a bad shout. Yeah, over the next few weeks, I really intend to try out a lot of different builds. That's my goal. Because I'm gonna. This is effectively me starting work on the next mining guide. You just have to get out and break as many rocks as you can, right? Now the question, I reckon it's probably best to just fill up at this point and go and get this run banked. I have to keep an eye on the time. I've got Ali coming back at about 8:30, so if I scoop this up, then I reckon I can maybe get my head down and get one more run in. The age-old question, do I have enough time for one more mining run before real-life stuff happens? The good thing nowadays, at least though, since quant is less the be-all and end-all, is that you can just, you know, get part way into a mining run and then bedlog. Got a little bit of tea left. Old tea. While cold tea is a little bit sacrilegious, wasted tea would be even more so. Let's get going. Put the dog leg in. Yeah, there's always time. It's just the real question is, how much trouble am I going to be in? Here's it. PG tips. All the monkey advertising worked on me as a child. Rug's ears have perked up though. wandered off, so there might be a chance that she's just early. With his super hearing, he can usually hear basically when she comes to the gate. Although that could be any number of other people who live in an apartment building, so. I'm also gonna have to remember to hydrate my character. That's the other. And yeah, let's switch out when we get back. We'll switch out to the Helix one, and probably I've got 2 module slots on that, so I think probably going to flip that over to a Focus 3. I think for the extra green zone. I don't know, I'll take a look at what other modules I've got. Yeah, if any representatives of PG Tips are fans of the channel, then I will happily take that sponsorship deal. Forget VKB, forget NordVPN, forget Raid, Shadow Legends. PG Tips all the way. But seriously, if any of those companies I've just mocked would also like a sponsorship slot, I'm very mercenary and capitalist, so not sure about Raid Shadow Legends. Don't think I would ever recommend anybody play a mobile MMO. Some Raid Shadow tea though, yeah. So if anybody from Raid Shadow Legends wants to get into the tea business, then send me some bags, and we can talk business. Raid Shadow Tea would be an amazing name for a tea brand, just saying. Yeah, yeah. That's marketing that just writes itself. I don't know. I can see, because certainly, like, yeah, I've got a mate, right, who has 3 kids, like 3, and they are like nearly 5 years old, 2.5 years old, and 6 months. And he used to be a die-hard gamer. He just can't. Now he plays games on his phone. And watches YouTube. So he might even be living vicariously through this stream, you never know. But yeah, so I can see where there is some appeal. And you know, it's easy for us in our, like, we have a little bit of an echo chamber, right? There's everybody's in something of an echo chamber, and we as Star Citizen enjoyers are in a bit of an echo chamber where everybody has a kick-ass PC, whereas a lot of people don't, but they do have a mobile phone, and they do still like games. I think the reason you see so many adverts for them is because they require advertising to get people to play them. Hey Biker Joe, how you doing, mate? Happy New Year. Sorry, Andrew, I just caught that joke. Irish drinking property. Arg. Made me chuckle. Yeah, that's it. So if you just spent 1,100 euros on your phone, maybe you don't have enough money for your PC. Whereas cheapskates like me with the same phone that I've had for 5 years, I can afford half a new graphics card.
Exactly what you can expect in terms of hostile resistance, but usually basically ready for it. And just to say it, I'm really happy to hire you for this.
These guys from Crusader Security are very, very persistent. I wish you could somehow just opt out of some of their incessant messaging. Let's go. Right. Get that Festnite in, get that Agricium in. See, this is the thing, like, I know that mining is not anywhere near the profit levels it used to be, but there's still just something very satisfying about seeing your job start to stack up in that refinery. I'm not sure, Ahmed. I haven't noticed any more bugs than usual when it comes to mining. Happy New Year, boss. Catch you later, my man. Oh no, I like a yeah, don't worry, we gotta do the full switch over, Silas. Gonna put a new build together. Go with something a little bit more spicy. No, I like a bit of rock mining. Okay, yeah. Like varying it up. I find rock mining incredibly relaxing. Because you know that there's just a lot less going back and forth, right? While just outdoing the mining the whole time. One thing which I would really like to see though is like a little like maybe even like a snub ship with a size 0 mining laser on it. That would be really sweet. Alright, let's move that Prospector into storage. Let's pop together a slightly different build. Then let's have a cruise. And get back out there. Yeah, let's go with the Helix. And then let's definitely slap one Focus 3, because that's going to give that optimal charge window size. Then what else could we put on it? And we could just go with the Surge, right? Yeah, let's really try the Surge. Give us maximum power to play with. And I will stick a Stampede in my backpack.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Hey, I'm just happy to be termed an influencer.
Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us again.
No, I'm absolutely sure they will bring that ship out. That's an LTI token of the future. They're just They're just saving it for a rainy day. Right, let's have a drink before we get on board. If this is working yet. Yeah. Cruise Lux, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner of champions. And we'll just drop it off the floor. It's a computer game and I'm not really littering. See, would never do that in real. Right, let's stock up on gadgets a little bit as well. Refresh the beer on there. Put these into the backpack? No. So they'll have to go into the ship inventory. Bring a few options. Let's see, got wave shift on board. Let's bring another Optimax just in case, but I think realistically, let's bring a spare wave shift just in case as well. Because I think in this combo, correct me if I'm wrong guys, but I think the wave shift is likely to be my friend with that extra green zone and stability reduction.
You are clear to launch.
Instability reduction. Stampede to backpack. We'll do that when we get outside the doors. Which I know I should wait to open. Had a couple of desync explosions recently.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Where my stampede's at. There we go. Grab one of them just in case it comes in handy. Thank you, Silas. Right, let's burn away. Where should we go? I reckon let's keep rotating moons. Go for aerial maybe this time. Thoughts on the C1 Spirit? I think it's a great ship. Yeah, it's really, really tidy. I included it in my daily driver video I popped out recently. The only reason I didn't really rate it, so to speak, was because I tried to keep that to what do you call it? I wanted to keep it to ships you could buy in game, but definitely the C1 got a special mention because I think it's a fantastic daily driver. I really like the tractor beam on that as well. The only tractor beam I like more is the one on the Taurus. I think that is fantastic. But yeah, that is the one other tweak that I think is needed for the C1 and just all the spirits in general. Like, they are being shoved into the same hangar as you get for the Cutlass. And I mean, the clearance on that is like, it doesn't leave much room for error, which would be probably my only complaint with the ship, to be honest. I think if it could get a better hangar, then a bit of a, like, land it in one of the medium ones, that would be good. Yeah, I would say I would say if you're thinking about going to a C1 from a Cutlass, just you can ask one, like, people will happily lend you them to try out. So like, step 1, borrow one. Step 2, maybe just wait until next patch, because I'm pretty sure next patch will get them to buy in game. At which point I would probably estimate it'll be around 3 million ish. Try it out, and then if it still makes sense for you, then consider that upgrade. Because the only downside to these upgrades is that you know it's hard to go back. So if you're going up in value, you do just want to be sure that it's the right thing. Yeah, step 3, get all the ships. But yeah, it's really, really nice to fly. Handles really well. Bit of a pancake, so, you know, like all ships, you know, there is no right and wrong when it comes to ships. It's just rule of cool, what looks good to you. Yeah, I swear the Spirit is just landing in the wrong hangar. It's gotta be right. It is. Yeah, I do feel like maybe the Cutty is running to some slightly different metrics in terms of hydrogen fuel, but I personally, I'm sticking with my Cutlass Black. I love that thing. Once upon a time, I upgraded my Cutlass Black. I made all sorts of errors when it came to that Cutty. And yeah, I had to go cap in hand and make a very nice, polite request of CIG's customer services, and ask them to if I could delete my chain and get my Cutlass Black back. I didn't want to melt the whole thing because I had the really nice what do you call it, Best in Show 2950 skin. Which very kindly they did for me. Yeah, see, this is the thing for me, Joe. I do like that sharp a wee bit. Let's see if we can hold it there. 20% looks good. Aerial is not the nicest backdrop for the old red and green zones. Okay, that one looks to be thinking about whether it wants to break for us or not. We're going to scan some other rocks and then we can come back to it, hopefully. Oh. Hopefully the stream hasn't froze. Hopefully it's just the rock in question that's frozen. My most looked forward to thing for 2024. There's quite a lot. Quite a lot. Alright, some buffering, but it's settled. Okay, that's cool. I do have a spare PC, and I'm thinking about just committing it to a dual setup. To try and... Well, that's a nice piece. 4% Vexelite. there's a lot. I think there's quite a lot to look forward to in 2024. But for me, I think it's gonna have to be the Polaris. I love multi-crew ships, and I think that's gonna be something quite special. Particularly now we've got, like, you know, you can consistently quite easily go and take on an Idris. So I think being able to go and do that in a Polaris, or with a couple of Polarises, will be fantastic. Just really hoping we get that sort of true capital ship type feel. So I'm also really looking forward to, and I'm not entirely sure, I need to probably go and do some studying of the roadmap. I'm actually really looking forward to engineering gameplay as well. Right, that's a nice little starter for 10 on our mining trip. So I think we can do better than some of those other mats around. I mean, obviously, I am really looking forward to any and all news about base building. A lot of you will know I am a survival game nut, and therefore base building is very exciting as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. I think base building is one of those things which is going to take probably quite a long time. And I also think that, like, with base building, I think we'll see a lot of that on the shit, I always forget the word for it. The extra special test universe, the experimental branch thing that they're currently doing Pyro on. I think the first iterations we're going to see of base building are going to be that. Alright, sorry, just from Carl, here's a question. I don't currently have a mining crew. Do you think it'll be easy to find one to help crew an Arastra when it comes out? Mining is a group popular. Yeah, I think the I do think further down the line, because I think more and more people are going to start playing Star Citizen who don't think spending lots of money on massive ships is normal. Who, you know, I think we're going to hit a point, like it was recently announced that we've got, like, what is it, 5 million accounts? And I think as you go further and further into the project and it gets closer and closer to release, I think more and more people are going to turn up who are like, $45 is the right price for a game, or, like, you know, maybe further down the line that's going to start to look more like $70. And that will get you in with an Aurora or a Mustang or a Cutter. And those are exactly the people who are going to be like, oh, you've got an Arastra. That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to come and crew. The one downside to that approach, of course, 9 times out of 10, probably even more than that, right? It's gonna be great. Like, you meet up with random people in Star Citizen through global chat, and yeah, you just have a good time. But that one time, you're gonna have somebody who's gonna come and join your crew, who then, once you're all nice and full up of millions and millions of credits of good stuff to go and sell, they're going to pull out that FS9. They're going to cap you all, and then they're going to go and deliver your ship with all of its goods to their mates who are waiting. So that really is where, sort of, I would say, step one, rather than buying an Arastra, step one should probably be joining some form of org or Star Citizen community. We have one. I will just retype the link to our Discord. So yeah, please feel free to come and hop into our Discord. But yeah, I would with all ships that take more than one person, I would worry more to start with about finding the people you're going to crew it with. Because you might even find, like, right, so Rastra is going to be, what, 4 or 5 crew? If you find 3, 4 other people who you really enjoy playing with and get on with and would like to regularly crew ships with, you might find out that one of those people has already got an Rastra, and there you go, you just saved yourself $600. Because you only need one between the group, right? So, right, nice little gold rock there. I had to give Krug his little treat break there. Maybe that will lead to some good rocks here. Oh. Well, we won't say no to a free scoop. How much is that, SCU-wise? 5.85. Okay, so we will get some other stuff out of these rocks here, but we'll leave ourselves about 6 SCU of space to grab that bit of Quantanium on the way out. Oh. I'm just kicking. I'm a Quantanium magnet tonight in my solo Prospector. That will entirely fail to continue to find Quantanium when I've got a mole crew. Right, I want to try and crack this gold rock. Might go and drop a little wave shift on this, give myself a bit of extra green zone. That does not look like very much at all. Oh, hello. Well, are they liable to sod off? Normally, just so you know, normally I would highly recommend just leaving at the moment you see some red people screaming overhead. I am going to risk it for a biscuit. Yeah, it was just an NPC there. I'm not too worried, and he seemed to have somewhere to be in a hurry, so... Alright. That does not appear to be cooling down very quickly. Yeah, I think this is gonna probably be the first explosion of the stream. Or did we avoid it? Yes, we have. Yeah, I think since that NPC has only gone 2.8 kilometers, I assume that is an NPC that is dropping somebody off at one of those derelict outposts. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk getting out and slapping my wave shift on. Need to give that rock some time to cool down anyway. Yeah, see, this is the downside to the to that helix link. Particularly when you're a little bit rusty on the old mining like I am. That's a beer. Did not want this one. See, professionalism continues. This is what happens when I find myself watching the clock. Grab that wave shift. Yeah, you do always have to be quite worried about where you park your ship. While I was recording the last mining guide, I hopped out of a Prospector to pop a Gadget on a rock. Not realizing that I'd left my Prospector on a slight slope on a icy planet. And then it was like, there should have been some Benny Hill music playing. Because then I was just, it was just going that little bit too fast for me to be able to, like, I could catch up with it, but I couldn't stay in range of the enter ship button long enough to get back in. So yeah, that proceeded for about 2 kilometers running before I just gave up. I was just like... Then I had to go back and film that again. That's the sort of stuff that through the magic of video editing you don't see. Alright, now here's to hoping I stuck it on the right rock. I did. Good. Good times. Let's see, where are we getting climb? About 27 is getting climb. I don't like that target lock beep I just heard. Let's see. That wave shift has made things a lot nicer. That's brilliant, Winters. I should remember that I need to maintain my concentration on my mining, but that's definitely tickled me. Oh, I didn't quite have enough. I thought that was going to be smooth. Thought that was going to be incredibly smooth. Hopefully that red should disappear by the time I can hear that Benny Hill music starting again. It's creeping up in the background. Okay, let's leave the laser on all the way this time. Yeah, let's just blame that radar lock noise. That made me a little bit edgy. Now, since I've got a 25-minute timer, I can scoop that free bit of Quantanium, I reckon. Now, 2.79 on that quant. Nice free 50k. I'll say no to that. I'll just wait and see. This is going to now take 20 minutes to break. Clearly, this server is seen better days. And it's probably gonna give me, yeah, really crappy gold splits. Oh no, I reckon. Quick treat to Krug. Before we see what it's like. 2%, that's not gonna cut it. Need 2%, even worse. We're getting progressively less and less gold. $29 seems to be like the best I'm gonna do. This is one of the things where I think sometimes like going for gold is like a bit of a trap. It's like, yes, it's very valuable, but it tends to split so poorly. So if you know what I mean, like gold's worth what, about, let's call it 8k. But if you're only bringing 30% chunks in, then like per SCU, it's only like 3k. Like 2.5 maybe. Whereas if you just get 100% Laranite, which is 4k per SCU. Yeah, it might be worth experimenting with that cluster factor on gold. I mean, it can't make it worse, right? It's already pretty terrible. Wait to... Did the classic and it didn't scan it all, so there's a slightly better piece, 42%. But I haven't scanned, no, it's 17%. Let's take this 30. On the upside though, it's the other end, right? Because you know, yes, you come back with a smaller amount, but it's more valuable per SCU. So then you're able to get more, transport more runs in your ship. Therefore, you are doing less runs from when it comes to like taking stuff from the refinery to the TDD. So what's that run? So yeah, unfortunately that 10 odd SCU of quartz has shafted me a little bit. But still, 8 of Bexelite, 6 of gold, and a bonus 2.5, call it, of Quantanium. Not too shabby. Hey Chuck, how you doing? And yeah, like I say, you would normally stop and gather your gadget, but tonight I'm being lazy. Yeah, of the tier 1 mats, sort of gold definitely seems to be the most troublesome. Right, but it looks like I'm just about gonna have time to get this back to the refinery, or we call it for the. Yeah, thank you very much for all popping along and hanging out. This is, like I say, just a new little format I'm gonna try. I enjoyed it. I do really like doing streaming. It's just try to be consistent with it has been my downfall. I find mining's one of those really good game loops to do while while being able to just also have a chat. It's one of the reasons I really like mole mining with a crew. Just hang out with your friends and have a chat while you crack some rocks. Not everything in game has to be like pew 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 action all the time. Okay. Back to Hero 2. And also, yeah, I would probably any other night I would probably be paying far more attention to refinery yields and mixing up where I'm going, but I'm just being lazy. I said it would be mining. I didn't say it would be good, sweaty mining. Still. Reruns in a couple of hours. Can't complain. That time it wasn't the game bugging out on me, that time it was just my finger slipping. Right, but thank you everybody for hanging out. I think judging by Craig's reaction, I'm almost certain that in the next 2 minutes or so, my wife's going to walk through the door. So, so before she does and the dog goes too crazy, I think I'm going to sign off. I'll get this lot cooking, and then we can, yeah, we can pick this back up next week. No, Arethusa has volunteered to buddy me in a Prospector next time, so so we might be able to make short work of some of those slightly bigger rocks and get a slightly better yield. But yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Catch you later.
Thank you. And please.
Sorry if anyone's still here. I've just seen Jack Axton's online, so I'm just going to pop up a stream, pop up a link to his stream, and send any of you who want to carry on over there.